Did Warner Brothers marketing just throw us a bone? Or has their latest attempt at viral marketing landed them in the doghouse? A few weeks ago, I reviewed the trailer for The End of Oak Street. And at the time, I thought it was just a trailer 1 and that there'd be a longer trailer coming out afterwards. Turns out that wasn't the case. That's the full trailer they're releasing, which is great. You never want them to give away the whole movie in the marketing. But we moved on to that stage where they're starting to do little things with social media marketing. A couple days ago, in a not too unusual move, Warner Brothers decided to have one of the stars from End of Oak Street appear on a popular podcast.
So what?
The podcast is hosted by AI-generated talking dogs. And the actor that they sent there was the dog. It has been met with mixed reviews, including some backlash in the comment section, even attracting the attention of Charlie, a.k.a. Penguin Zero, a.k.a. Moist Critical, one of YouTube's OG reaction guys. Maybe you heard of him. Huge channel, probably the best guy to follow if you want to keep up with trending topics, but get the sane, reasonable perspective on them, not the exaggerated, clickbaity kind of stuff that other people are doing. Anyway, I've glazed him enough. Let me tell you why I'm referencing him at all. Charlie had some thoughts on this, specifically why did it get made. His thoughts were from like an outsider's perspective, and I thought it'd be interesting for me to go step through this, show you my reactions to anything that's worth showing you reactions to, and then I'll give you my 2 cents from an insider's perspective about how this did get made. So, what happens when a marketing team does a cross-promotional video with another company who's using a controversial technology just a week before their movie comes out? Let's watch the podcast and find out. The whole thing is the problem.
Today's guest ran from dinosaurs and helped save his human co-stars. Please welcome Starbuck from The End of Oak Street.
So right off the bat, this is not written well. You have an intro to a podcast introducing a dog talking about a movie, and there was no joke, no punch to it at all. There was nothing there. You could have said, our next guest is quite the pedigree with more credits than you can shake a stick at.
Please welcome Starbuck from The End of Oak Street.
This is creepy. What is the dog looking at? The headphones aren't even on his ears. That wave lasts a little too long. It's uncomfortably long.
That's what she said.
It's that uncanny valley. Just pawful.
Thanks, guys. It's nice to finally speak with interviewers who understand the craft.
If it hadn't happened so recently, I would think that that might actually be a reference to that interview Christopher Nolan did where he criticized amateur critics who don't know enough about the craft.
It's nice to finally speak with interviewers who understand the craft.
Also, The Craft may be a pretty good movie, but I don't think you should have to have seen it just to talk about movies.
Starbuck, which of your human co-stars was the best trained?
Ewan MacGregor was excellent with treats. Anne Hathaway matched him there, but she could scratch behind both ears at once. Game over!
Just as I thought it was going all right.
I suppose that's a joke.
It's just a shame, that's all.
They're laughing. This is the most extreme version of trying to replace real jokes with a laugh track. Game over. See, normally, like a copywriter, if you're going to write a joke, there would be a punchline. Which of your human co-stars is the best trained? That's almost starting to get into some clever stuff, but you need a payoff. You know, a funnier joke might have been something like, at least one actor on that set was not housebroken. Maybe that's not the right joke, but at least it's an attempt at an actual joke.
But you weren't just there for the ear scratches. You did some serious action work too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Running, jumping, dodging dinosaurs, and when things get really bad, I come back to help distract them.
That's the value proposition here. This is being presented like it's a behind-the-scenes sneak peek from an actor in the movie. They talk about what happened on set, maybe they show some clips, and I think from a concept standpoint, they believe that just the idea that it's talking dogs, having a show similar to how humans would...
That ain't legal either.
They thought that would be funny in itself, and maybe it is. You know what? Let's just keep watching.
So while the humans panicked, the dog handled it.
You could have done some kind of joke there, like the dog took the lead. Some people call a leash a lead. I mean, it's something.
Not to brag, but yeah, I'm kind of a hero. Be honest, did the dinosaurs ever have you tuck your tail between your legs?
Badly written. Did the dinosaurs ever have you tuck your tail between your legs? Implies they were requesting you to do so. They're trying to say, were you scared of the dinosaurs? I think maybe, did the dinosaurs ever make you tuck your tail between the legs might be better, but it's still not a very funny joke.
Absolutely. I ran, jumped, and acted like dinosaurs were right behind me.
Yeah.
All while keeping my eye on a tennis ball.
You pulled that off for a tennis ball?
It would have been better if they were actually waving a tennis ball at him instead of this blue thing. The visual actually made it harder to understand.
Please tell me they treated you like a star between takes. To be fair, Frenchie, the tennis ball squeaked. Okay, that's an important detail.
Listen to the delivery of that line.
To be fair, Frenchie, the tennis ball squeaked.
It's not a punchline delivery. It sounds like it's the middle of a list. It's like there's another punchline coming, so you don't even know you're supposed to laugh there. And honestly, maybe you should have added another punchline. To be fair, the tennis ball squeaked, and the guy holding it smelled like pepperoni. Something. Give me something. And then his reaction is, oh, but his eyes are so dead that it just seems like he's having trouble breathing. Give that guy a CPAP.
But a performance like that must have earned you some serious star treatment. I had my own 5-star treat station, cold water, cooling towels, the full setup.
All of that stuff are opportunities for jokes that they didn't take. If you're going to set up that line with the question, he should say something either informative or funny. And neither of those happen. It's hard to come up with better punchlines because the joke setups aren't even good. There are so many puns about dogs, and they didn't even try one. You could have had him say something like, everyone says that making a movie is really hard, but for me, it was just like a walk in the park. Did you say walk? Did you say park? All right, I'm not going to spend any more time trying to punch up their jokes. That's like trying to put lipstick on a pug. If this was written by a person, they didn't have any comedy sense. But if it was written by AI, it's just not good.
You can't carry a movie on an empty stomach.
That's a punchline, I guess. This is like a joke-shaped thing that isn't actually funny.
That's what she said.
So I do think that maybe this was written by AI.
You don't say.
And prompted by people who aren't very creative to begin with. The studio wouldn't just allow an AI-generated thing to be made and posted without their approval, so every word in this has gone through a committee process.
Most important question, do you survive?
No more spoilers from me. You'll have to see it yourself to find out more.
Why waste time with these filler questions and answers that provide nothing to the audience? That's kind of a big problem with AI writing. It's trying too hard to mimic human inefficiencies in order to seem real, that it's failing at doing what a good writer would do in this case, which is writing very punchy, efficient dialogue that only does exactly what it needs to do. Intro, joke, introduce some clips, joke, outro, coming to theaters this Thursday. You're done. Instead, the AI is doing all the little inane, pointless banter between jokes that you would see on one of these shows. They're not giving us the actual jokes. So it's doubly boring.
If we made a list of books or works of art which we both know, it would form the ideal basis of a discussion.
Frenchie and I already have our tickets to the premiere on August 14th, and we can't wait to see you in action.
They finish off with retail messaging, stating basic advertising info without any sort of creative presentation. August 14th, buying tickets.
Thanks for the support, guys. Make sure to bring plenty of popcorn.
One pun. We had a joke about scratching behind both ears, not being able to save people from dinosaurs on an empty stomach, and now that. It's a stereotypical boring pun, popcorn. But if you're seeing it in a theater, you don't bring popcorn, you buy the popcorn there. That's another thing that tells me it's AI, because that didn't have cultural context behind it. What percentage of that was just AI dogs laughing? Maybe 20%? Not an insignificant percentage. It's but. So Charlie had some thoughts.
Warner Bros. Decided to start chug-jugging lead paint and hatched a diabolical, stupid marketing idea.
He's not wrong.
Inauthentic, not sincere or genuine. And I don't know who this even appeals to. This is actually just a bunch of nothing.
No argument here.
Nobody wants this.
I don't see the value in it either, except those behind the scenes shots. It's kind of ironic. You're showing proof of life saying, hey, we had a real dog in the movie, but you're doing that through a video that's completely AI generated. I'm sure nobody involved saw the irony here.
I think someone in that department, the marketing department, must have been a fan of this AI dog podcast and pushed through this collab, this promo.
That's not impossible, but unless it was the head of marketing that came up with that, it probably would have had to survive some debates. Marketing executives are notoriously risk averse.
I just found this to be like a really baffling marketing decision here.
So let me just walk you through how something like this actually gets made. At some point, they would have decided the dog is a marketing asset, which if you watch my trailer review, I agreed with, maybe not to the degree they thought, and they would have called up their vendors to do a special shoot exploration. A special shoot is any time they create unique video for a marketing campaign. It could be as simple as an actor standing in front of a white background introducing the trailer. You've seen them before. And they're going to do some version of this kind of an exploration for almost every movie they work on, depending on the marketing budget. So yeah, they're going to ask their vendors to pitch them dog-related concepts. And the vendors would have been trailer houses, advertising agencies for movies, maybe you heard of them, maybe some social media marketing firms, maybe some freelance copywriters, maybe consultants, and they would have asked them to ideate on out-of-the-box ideas for social media pieces for the end of the marketing campaign. Ideating is the corporate nonsense word for brainstorm. I guess brainstorming sounds too violent. And out-of-the-box ideas are basically anything that's almost exactly what we've done before with a little tiny twist, so it seems new and fresh and exciting. So yeah, you probably had at least a dozen people trying to come up with ideas for this. It's possible one of these people watched the podcast. It's also possible one of their family members, their spouse, their kids, their parents, or a friend made them aware of this somehow. It's also possible that they just Googled it and found out about it that way. But whoever pitched the idea probably didn't think it would actually get made. They were doing their due diligence, give them all the reasonable ideas they could think of. And I think you can understand how in a conference room, just on face value, this could seem like a fun, cute idea, especially when you're imagining the best version of it. I'm sure the makers of the podcast, they have this infrastructure in place, so they probably made the whole thing for them for free. But maybe if something super fast and easy and costs $0, they might have just pushed it through and said, hey, let's see what happens. Keep making it and see if they can come up with something good. But even if it was just a marketing exec coming up with the idea and pushing it through because it was cheap and easy to make, I can definitely see this getting made and then being shelved because there's no reason to put this out. It wasn't very good. It needed to be written by a human. Although honestly, when a lot of these things are written by people, they still end up kind of bland and boring after it goes through the whole process. And then when you're lucky enough to actually have something shot, the actors decide to do some improv or they don't deliver the lines the way you expected them to, and it comes back pretty awful anyway. That's how traditional special shoots work, which is why very few of them get made. But at some point they saw the final version, approved it, and let it get posted. And that's where the real problem is. It's that they decided, oh, this is good enough to go up, because it clearly wasn't. That podcast episode deserved to be put into a tiny little plastic bag, tied up, and put into a stranger's recycling bin as you walk past, and hope that they don't look out the window.
I can't even begin to try and grasp what they were attempting here.
This came out a week before the movie, so it's during the final push. So this is really more about creating awareness, trying to keep the movie in everyone's minds, and this is just one of 10 places that they're gonna see it this week, all across social media in various ways. We're seeing articles about Anne Hathaway's pregnancy. We're seeing interviews with JJ Abrams about all the story that they didn't reveal in the trailer. If you keep seeing the name of the movie everywhere you go, and then when it comes time to do something on the weekend, you're gonna say, hey, why not go see The End of Oak Street? That's, for some reason, that's in my head. That's the goal here, and I think the calculation was this. This is an app that has 1.5 million users. The podcast is maybe getting about 2 million views across all these different platforms.
They have a good chunk of subscribers, but I'm pretty sure it's botted or a purchased account.
Charlie could be right. You can't really trust that any of those views are actual human eyes. It's all just speculation. So maybe we get 2 million eyes on it, and if 1% of them end up going to see it when they wouldn't have otherwise, it's like 15,000 more tickets sold. And if it costs them nothing or very little to make, that seems like a low-risk, medium reward kind of thing. Now, I'm sure they didn't plan for the backlash, especially an anti-AI backlash, and I think their final calculation was, this is probably not going to break containment. Breaking containment is what they call it when something gets picked up from one platform and spread across other platforms. So an Instagram post goes viral and then you start seeing it on TikTok and on YouTube, etc.
That's such like an insulated community inside of this app, and when you go outside of that, there's not really an audience that is salivating for more AI drivel.
Everyone who's watching this is okay with AI. They're watching it because they like it.
But I don't think it's going to like ruin it. Even if the movie is terrible, it'll still do fine in the box office because dinosaurs being there is going to carry it.
He's not wrong.
Life, finds a way.
Realistically speaking, all this negative backlash on the app, people saying, I'm not going to see your movie now, what are the odds they were going to see it before? It's easy to make that claim on the internet, but I think we're seeing pretty universally throughout our economy that these companies don't really lose out when a small number of people get angry on the internet. It doesn't really affect the numbers that much. A little bad publicity for using AI may turn off some people from seeing this movie, but it probably also reminded 2 million people that the movie is going to be happening.
But they're so out of touch and delusional that they still just pulled the trigger on this garbage.
Now, do I think they should have released this? No. Because a good and entertaining piece of marketing material will always have a better impact than a corny, stupid, boring one that nobody actually wants to watch.
Anyone could have told you that.
But I think the real problem, and something that the studios really need to wake up to, is the false hope that AI is somehow going to be a benefit to them in the long run. It's extremely short-term thinking. What they fail to see is that the only reason the studios exist is because high-quality movies are incredibly expensive and complicated to make. And yes, they have the ability to make high-quality movies. They just rarely choose to exercise that option. Hundreds Hundreds of high-paid, highly skilled humans doing all of this work to create these things. The current style of AI that they're making now, I don't believe is ever going to get to the point where you can just type in some prompts and output a Hollywood-level movie, but someday a different version of AI might. And the second that happens, the studios, in their complete arrogance, somehow imagine that they're going to maintain power. They think they're going to monopolize that AI and be able to use it for themselves. And maybe that's true for the first AI or the second AI, but we all know how technology works. Each iteration of it gets cheaper and more accessible. And at some point, you will no longer be able to compete with small companies and individuals using the same tools that are accessible to you. People prioritize self-preservation, so they're thinking about how to get promoted and how to make good marketing materials cheap right now. What they're actually doing is slowly normalizing the use of AI for these purposes, making their job obsolete. By then they'll have made enough to retire. They just don't see how they fit into the bigger picture of our entire culture and what human-made art means and the responsibility that they have as marketers of human art. So I hope all the negative feedback they're getting online is at least going to push them off of AI for a little while.
I think they're probably going to keep doing things like it because it's free. It's basically free.
Game over. Scorp! If I had to give this a score, I guess I'd give it 1 bonus point for having some kind of concept behind it, trying something different and unique, and then no points otherwise. So I give this a 1. There's your score. 1. Which is being generous, mind you. Maybe I should ask AI to give it a score.
1.
And the grand total is
1.
It's nice to finally speak with interviewers who understand the craft.
Well, that's my opinion, but I'd love to know yours. So come at me in the comments, and while you're down there, give me a thumb, subscribe, and check out my End of Oak Street trailer review. I think it's a really good video, if you don't mind me wagging my own dog food. Thanks for watching, and I hope you see me next time.
It's still just lame.